It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Do you honestly mean it?
Yes, I mean it. I don't say things that I don't mean. You and this baby are the most important things in the world to me.
I rest my case. What was that you were saying about being the most important person in the world to Louise?
Oh, stop it.
Well, looks like you've been replaced.
Oh, Louise. Gosh, that's all I needed to know. I was so afraid to go through this pregnancy alone.
Well, you'll never be alone.
Say it again. I need to hear you say it.
Hey, many times as you like. You and this baby are the two most important people in the world to me.
Look who's here. Come on in, Fancy. Louise and I were just talking about our baby. Our baby? Oh my God, I love saying that. He was just telling me how much our baby means to him.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you were eavesdropping.
Pretty. Sweetheart, how are you doing?
Oh, much better now that I've spoken to Louise. He's convinced me and told me how much our baby means to him and how much I mean to him as well. God, I'm so relieved. I can't believe I was going to terminate my pregnancy. My imaginary pregnancy.
Well, thank God that you did.
Yeah. God, I feel so bad for those poor girls who have to face being a parent alone. It's such a scary time that decision actually makes sense, but not for me. Because I have this great man that I know that I can lean on and will support me, and our baby is going to have two loving parents. Forgive me, Louise. I'm not used to being, cared about or have somebody worry about me. I've never felt so loved. You do love me, don't you?
Yes, you and the baby are very important to me.
The most important things to you?
Yes?
Excuse me.
We'll be right back.
What are you doing?
Bravo. I am applauding a most masterful performance. I gotta hand it to you, Pretty. You are good.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Aunt Sheridan.
Oh, come on. There's no reason to keep it from me. I gotta admit, I did have my suspicions before, but after what I just saw, I gotta hand it to you. Congratulations. You are a true Crane. Down to the bone.
Look, I know we decided to work together to break up Louise and Fancy, but please don't think I would ever use a child.
Oh, come off it! I know exactly what you're up to. You're using your pregnancy to drive a wedge between Louise and Fancy. You had no intention of ever having an abortion. It was just a trick to scare Louise, to reel him in.
I'll admit to nothing. Though I must say I was pleased to see that Louise is finally realizing how much our baby and I mean to him. It's all about love, Aunt Sheridan. Louise finally is realizing how much he loves me.
No. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't forget, I'm still in the picture, remember? And Louise is out in the corridor talking to Fancy. You may have forced him to say whatever you wanted him to say to stop you from having an abortion. But he still isn't ready to give up Fancy to be with you. Although I will admit, Fancy was pretty upset when she heard Luis say that you were the most important person in the world to him. So even though Luis may not be ready to give up Fancy, it could be the final straw for her. So, you need to keep feeding her doubts while finding ways to pull him in.
Don't worry, Aunt Sheridan. I am way ahead of you.
So far, I am very impressed with your efforts. At this rate, you may actually break up Luis and Fancy. Remind me to never underestimate you again.
Everyone does. It usually works to my advantage. Word to the wise, don't discount me or my power over Luis. And over you.
Okay. Well, since we're handing out advice here, here's a little tip from me to you. Stay on my good side. And keep your veiled threats to yourself.
Or what?
Or I'll go to Luis, horrified and shocked, and tell him I just found out that you never intended to have an abortion. That you were just using all this to break up his relationship with Fancy.
You don't have any proof of that, now do you? Besides, breaking up Luis and Fancy works to both of our advantages.
That's why I won't tell Luis. So go ahead and play your silly little game, but be careful.
Don't worry, I will. See, that's what's great about playing secret games. You have to make the rules up for yourself as you go along. I know exactly what I'm doing, and you don't.
Don't bet on it, pretty. Two can play at this game, and in the end, I will win. After you've destroyed Luis and Fancy, I'll move in and capture the prize. Luis.